If you've been tracking your weight loss calories, you've probably come across the term TDEE. And after reading it and calculating your calories and tracking things, you're probably left a little confused on what actually is your TDEE. And at first it may seem a little confusing. So by the end of today's video, you'll know exactly what your TDEE is and what makes it all up and how it can influence your weight loss results. What's going on, everyone? It's Aaron from AMFIT Coaching, and today I'm going to be breaking down TDEE for you, or also Total Daily Energy Expenditure. And if you're new to the channel and new to my videos, my name's Aaron. I'm an online fat loss coach. I help people lose weight and get strong. And I currently put out about one video per week, all fitness related, nutrition related, and the odd healthy recipe here and there. So if you want to see more updates on those kind of videos, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. So with that out of the way, let's start with a basic overview and then dive into the details. So TDEE is just the short form for Total Daily Energy Expenditure. It's the total amount of calories, the total amount of energy that you are expending on a daily basis. So it's the total amount that you're burning through every single thing that you're doing, every single process that's going on within your body, your metabolism, keeping you alive, everything like that. It's all of those calories that you burn throughout the day. And your TDEE is usually referred to as your maintenance calories, because if you consume the exact same amount of calories that you are expending on a daily basis, then you will stay the same weight. You will be sort of in a energy balanced zone. So your weight won't be going up and it won't be going down, because your total output, metabolism wise, food wise, exercise wise, all of those things is exactly the same as the energy input. So your total daily energy expenditure, as you've probably put together from the previous couple sentences, it is made up of a couple of different things. So we're gonna dive into each thing respectively, so that way you know what actually makes up your total daily energy expenditure, and it's gonna make a lot more sense. So the first part that makes up the largest chunk of your daily energy expenditure is your BMR or RMR, which you've probably heard before, which is either basal metabolic rate and resting metabolic rate. Now these two are kind of a same but different scenario. You probably hear a lot of people refer to BMR, but your BMR can really only be measured in a lab setting, because you have to be fully fasted, they have to measure your breathing rate and oxygen consumption, all of that kind of stuff, and it can really only be measured under extreme conditions and in a lab. So what we do for 99% of the population is we calculate RMR, and that is your resting metabolic rate. And if you've watched my, I'll link it up here, how to calculate your calories video, the first one I did last year, you'll understand how RMR can kind of influence your weight loss calories. So your resting metabolic rate takes up about 70% of your total daily energy expenditure. That's a good amount of calories. And it's just the total amount of calories that you need to essentially just stay alive. So if you're just laying in bed, not really eating anything, no physical activity, no food, just surviving, that's the total amount of calories that you need. And that's 70% of the calories that you need. So that's why it's very important not to undereat, because then a lot of those processes will be not fueled correctly, and then a lot of processes slow down. So it's very important that you eat more than your resting metabolic rate. So the second part of your total daily energy expenditure is the thermic effect of your food, and the amount of calories that it takes, the amount of energy that it takes to metabolize and process your food. And if you've seen my protein intake video, you'll know that protein has a very high thermic effect compared to carbohydrates and fats considerably. So a diet that's typically higher in protein, you're just going to burn more calories at rest just from eating protein. And in total, the thermic effect of food can be about 10% of that total output during the day, which is a good chunk. So it's very important to eat food when you're dieting, because you're going to be a lot more metabolically active and just passively burn more calories without having to do anything at all, which is everybody's dream. And the third part, which is the next part of your total output of energy, is intentful movement. It's purposeful movement, exercise, activity. So it's going out of your way to get a workout at the gym, go for a walk, go for a swim, a bike, things like that. It's purposeful activity. And that can usually account for sometimes 20–30% of your total output in calories. So that's why exercising is very important, because your total energy output is going to be a lot higher, meaning you can also eat more food. So that is purposeful exercise, intentful exercise, going out of your way to purposely expend some calories. And then our last one is a thing called NEAT, which is non-exercise activity thermogenesis. This is just calories you burn through doing random things. It could be going up and down the stairs at work. It could be me making this video and doing all these hand gestures and moving around. All of that fidgeting, that is calories burned throughout the day. It could be walking down the street to send your mail off. It could be doing your groceries, parking in the parking lot, walking into the grocery store. That is non-exercise activity thermogenesis. It's just extra kind of random movement here and there during the day. And that can often take up a good chunk of your total calories during the day. I think upwards of roughly 15%, depending on the individual. Of course, the more active you are, that's going to be a little bit higher. So just being focused on movement during the day and just focusing on walking around here and there, even if for 30 seconds, it really adds up during the day. So when we put all of those things together, we get our TDEE, which is our total daily energy expenditure. So we add up our resting metabolic rate, the amount of calories we burn just at rest. Then we have our thermic effect of food, the amount of energy required to metabolize all of the food that we're eating. We have exercise activity, which is the purposeful exercise that we're doing, go to the gym, going for walks, things like that. And then we have NEAT, which is our non-exercise activity thermogenesis, which is just some of the fidgeting you're doing, walking around the house, doing chores, vacuuming, random things like that. So when we add all of those things up, we get our total daily energy expenditure, which is the total amount of calories you are expending on a daily basis. Now, of course, this number does change a little bit depending on what you're doing day to day. So if you're more active certain days, if you're eating different foods different days, it can largely influence. So this is kind of a number that does kind of fluctuate a little bit. So hopefully that made things make a little bit more sense. Now you should have a good idea of what actually makes up your TDEE, or your total daily energy expenditure. It's everything that you're doing, from just keeping your body alive, running all those metabolic processes, the food that you're eating, the exercise that you're doing, and just the fidgeting, walking around that you're doing. So I appreciate you for watching today's video. Hopefully you're walking away with a little more satisfaction, or you're a little more comfortable with the term TDEE now, and hopefully things make a little more sense now that you know everything that goes into the calories you're expending on a daily basis. Now, if there's anything in this video that you would want to see me really break down and go in detail a lot more, feel free just to leave a comment down below and be like, hey, can you cover thermic effect of food or NEAT in more detail? I would be more than happy to make a video on that topic. So thanks for watching. I appreciate all of you, and I'll see you guys next time.